This is The Healthy Healer, where true voice is your medicine. This is where we help doctors and other healers navigate through the challenging times by learning from the best minds in the healing industry. Laugh, cry, and be surprised. It's entertainment, education, and inspiration so you can continue to be the unique and amazing healer you were destined to be. Welcome to humanity. Welcome to The Healthy Healer with Dr. Fred.
Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Fred, and welcome to this week's short. So I had the amazing pleasure of interviewing Margie Breault, and man, she was totally convincing. I hope you got a taste of what she was talking about because it was incredible. So what did I learn from that interview? I learned that there's a part of me that stays skeptical about energy healing, about touch healing, about water healing, about law of attraction and natural law and manifestation and laws of polarity and Reiki working and all that stuff. There's a part of me that stays in the dark and is actually questions at a basic level whether it's worthwhile, whether it really works, how it stands up against conventional treatment. And although I come right out frequently and announcing the value of that type of, we'll call it alternative treatment, what I learned during this conversation is that there's still a part of me that remains skeptical, like behind the curtain. After my interview with Margie, I am much less skeptical. And not only that, I actually get that what she's talking about with the level of confidence that she brings forth, not only as having been a client, a customer, a patient, a receiver of the actual treatment, but then learning all about it theoretically and then bringing it forward and then speaking it and then teaching it. I learned of somebody, and I really got to see somebody who lives in the world of the natural law, who lives in the world of manifestation, who lives in the world of the law of polarity, and really all the changes that take place when we pay attention to natural laws that are totally consistent with nature. And when I say with nature, not just outdoors, but all things everywhere, all living things, and frankly, all non-living. This is somebody who lived a life that was so polar in the opposite direction as a child. Her mother, this whole practice that her mother made her go through, that if she disturbed, her mother had a pretty unique quality of making her daughter, this Margie, stand in front of the mirror and call herself a liar until she believed it. This took place hundreds of times as a child and clearly disrupted any continuity that was going on in her psyche building. And then this led over time to her having a certain lack of confidence and a certain disruption in her self-esteem. And then in her early 20s, once released from her home, one could guess that she sought out dissociative practices, like dissociative activities. And that included drinking a lot, spending every night in a bar, and it also included having lots of jobs and keeping herself separated from who she really knew herself to be. So once the consolidation efforts of these treatments were actually introduced to her, she began to feel the real value of it. It started with Reiki, and then from Reiki, as many people start with that, she got to see the deep value of that type of healing. And with that experience, became more and more immersed in wanting to learn more about it and being introduced to the theory of it, and eventually becoming a master in her own right of applying or utilizing Reiki with herself and her friends and her customers. And then she began to really look at other forms of treatment, and her list of treatments that she took on include so many things from sound healing to yoga to multiple different modalities that come out of we'll say, the alternative complexes. And then she began to learn even more about natural law and specifically about the law of polarity. And this began to be manifest in her life, and she was able to utilize it as a teacher and then as a clinician with people that she was coaching or practicing with, providing healing for. And she speaks in such a way that she wasn't stuttering. She wasn't mumbling. somebody who knew which words to use and was using it in such a persuasive and convincing fashion. I, for one, was really taken aback by how smooth and easy she spoke about the value and the nature of these treatments and how they all work together. And the idea that we can manifest, and in fact do manifest, whether we like it or not, the life that we get to live. And that it was really the law of polarity that turned her around forever. And once she realized that, she began to really see that this type of treatment was super effective in getting her back in space and back authentic on a pathway that really worked. So what I'm asking you to do is really look at, where are you on the spectrum when you're looking at so-called alternative treatment? You may find yourself, if you're a listener of this program, you may find yourself interested in exploring alternative treatment. Maybe you, like me, aren't really hanging your hat entirely on those treatments. There are some things, of course, that allopathic treatments or conventional treatments are the best for, but it's only a handful of things, because it seems like true and honest cosmic healing takes place inside of the ancient arts, the arts that come from India and from China, from Japan, from the ancient world, and the arts that have been long lived and who are proven over time to be effective. I invite you to really ask yourself, have you been giving that the adequate chance that it deserves? Have you explored that for yourself or your kids? If pressed, would you choose an alternative treatment if it meant not even exploring what the allopathic conventional world has to say, knowing that sometimes that allopathic conventional world actually leads to damaging results? Ask yourself that. You look in the mirror and ask yourself, where are you on this topic? That's what I want you to know. Is it woo or is it wow? Just comment below when you come up with your answer. I'd love to hear a little bit more. And as I said earlier, if you like this podcast as much as I like delivering it, please like it or share it or even subscribe to it, as it goes a long way to getting the right people to be able to watch these amazing videos. Thanks again for being a listener of The Healthy Healer. I love you and really appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the flip side.